Step it up and get it done. Getting things done quickly is so important as a landlord to maintain your profitability. Having a landlord go bag will ensure that you are prepared on every single site visit, saving you time and money. My name is Chatto, and I've been a landlord for over 25 years. And it wasn't up until a few years ago that I started carrying around a flashlight. Haha. And it's utterly amazing. Yesterday, I was actually charging my flashlight. It's got a cool rechargeable battery. It plugs into a USB-C port. Boom. And I plug it in and I get my battery charged. So yesterday, I was charging my battery, and that was actually the inspiration for this video was born. Since I started carrying my flashlight with me everywhere I go, and I go to these properties, it has come in handy so many times. It allows me to see things in the basement I wouldn't otherwise see. It allows me to see stuff behind appliances, places where I can't get to easily, and the phone flashlight is just sad. So having this flashlight alone has been huge and a big part of my daily carry. There are certain items that you should always have with you when visiting one of your properties. And in this episode of Chat with Chatto, I'm going to break down for you what you need to have with you to be prepared when you make your site visit so that you're efficient as possible, you get things done, and you save money, and you protect your investment. So we all know that when leaving the house, right, there's a little mantra that I think most people go through. They go, wallet, keys, cell. Wallet, keys, phone, right? Make sure you have those three things before you leave the house. Wallet, keys, phone. Well, there's a couple that you need to add on as a landlord, right? You have your wallet, keys, phone, and your flashlight, and your hat, and your keys. Master keys. So make sure you have all those things with you before you leave the house, and your go bag in the car or in your truck, wherever it is, to have with you in case you need any of those items. So when you get to the house and you go into the house, you need your keys to get in, you need your flashlight, and again, your hat. These are must-haves when you go into a property. And it's probably a good idea to have a checklist, right? So you don't miss anything while you're there that you could be doing, that you can be handling, so that you don't have to go back. So flashlight, I already spoke of, to see places. Pretty obvious to see where it's dark, and you have a nice bright flashlight. It makes your life that much easier. The keys, obviously, to get in. The hat might not be as obvious, and if you have a big full head of hair, maybe you don't need it. But as a bald guy in a basement without a hat, there's constantly low beams and something I bang my head on. I bang my head so many times in basements on this, that, or the other, and I don't want to do that anymore. So I always wear a hat. And plus, it's cold, keeps my head warm. So those are the things that you want to go have with you at the very minimum when you go into a property. And the checklist, I'm actually going to go over in another video. So I'm not going to get into that here. We'll link to that video at some point in the future when I make it in the next couple days. So now you need a go bag, right? You need a bag to keep in your car that has a bunch of things that you might need while you're on site to get things done. So again, I don't know why you're going to the property. Who knows why you're visiting the property, but you do need to visit your property occasionally. And by having these things with you, it's going to make your life a lot easier. Obviously, you need a tool bag with some basic tools. You don't have to go crazy here, but it just, when you need a Phillips head screwdriver and you don't have one, it's like, really? Because it's such a common tool. Like, just carry it. Phillips head screwdriver, small pair of pliers, a small wrench, some zip ties, some tape. Just like the basics of what you know how to use. You should have a little tool bag together. I don't know how many times I've gone to properties, especially multi-unit properties, didn't have the screwdriver with me. And of course, the vestibule lock is coming loose because people just in and out all day. And it's like, now I need to come back with a screwdriver just to tighten up this one little screw, which I could have handled now and been done with it. So it's costing me time. So basic tools. One of the things that you might not think about is to have some contractor bags and some good gloves with you. I don't know how many times we've gone to properties and there's just something that needs to be disposed of for some reason. Whether it's something outside, something out front, it happens more often than you would think. and just having that contractor bag and those gloves to pick it up and just get rid of it makes life easier. You don't want to have to spend money now and have a handyman come out to handle some garbage if that's what you need to do or whatever it is. Just it's amazing how many times I've needed contractor bags. Another good thing to have is measuring tape. It's just, you never know when you need it. In my previous video, I was talking about appliances, and if you don't have it recorded, like, that would be a great opportunity to maybe do some measurements on whether or not, like, for example, you go and you check out something at the property and you find out like an appliance needs to get replaced. You need to be able to measure the door frame. You need to measure what size the fridge is. Who knows? But I've always found that for some reason I need a measuring tape. It's good to have. Another big one that you might not think of that's good to have is an outlet tester. Sometimes when troubleshooting an appliance that doesn't work or something they're having an issue with, microwave's not working, that outlet tester will let you know that the outlet is good or not good. It allows you to check GFIs as well. Another one that you might not think of, but it's a very good idea to have in your car, is bug spray. It's bug spray. There are sometimes, unfortunately, infestations at your property, probably from the tenant if it's a single family, but I had an instance where we had a property where the next door neighbor was hoarding cats. And because of the cats, there was a huge flea issue, which unfortunately I didn't realize until after the fact. And then it kind of got me worried sometimes going into certain properties that, hey, I need to spray myself down with bug spray to at least try and keep things away while I'm in there. And maybe it's all a mental thing, but for me to like spray myself down for certain properties makes me feel a little better when I go in there. So I went into this property, and like I said, the neighbors had an abundance of cats. It was a attached row house, and man, oh man, I got home. I didn't go into I got a flea bombed my car. I didn't drive that particular, that was luckily I didn't have my regular car that day, and bombed the car, went inside the back door, took everything off before going in, and got that stuff in a bag, tied it up. Like, I didn't want to get fleas at my house. Like, that's a scary thing. So bug spray, believe it or not, is a good thing to have. Another item that you want to make sure you have are batteries. AA, AAA, 9-volt. You go to you go to a property and the smoke detectors beep, beep, beep. Change the battery. Get her done. Because now it's going to cost you a lot more to have someone come out to the property and change that one battery when you're already there and you can do it. Even just, you see that the battery is low on the thermostat, right? That might be one of the things that you check on that checklist, which we're going to talk about later. But make sure you have batteries with you, fresh batteries in your go bag. And also, it's always a good idea to have in your car, in your go bag, a couple of extra smoke detectors and carbon monoxide detectors and or combo units, right? Whatever you use in your area. Because how many times have I gone to a property and find out that, wow, because I check the smoke detectors while I'm there, make sure everything works. I want to keep my tenants safe. I want to keep my property safe. And I check it and, oh man, the smoke detector is not working. Now I got to put in a work order. I got to either come back myself or I got to send somebody out just to change the smoke detector. If I had it in my car, boop, boop, hook it in, done. Much, much easier. So it's really important to make sure that you're prepared when you go to a property. Put together a go bag, right? Have that in your car. Have your flashlight, have your hat, have your master keys. I don't know how many times I've gone to a property and I didn't check before I left the house that I don't have the keys with me. And if it's one of the deals when the tenant said, yeah, come in, I'm not going to be home, guess what? I can't get in. And now I got to drive back to my house, get the keys, go back to the property, again, wasting time. So just make sure, like, these are the kind of things you want to think about in order to be prepared when you go on a site visit to any one of your properties. Stay tuned, and very shortly I'm going to put out the video regarding the checklist of what to do while you're there and what to check while you're there so that you can efficiently handle anything else that needs to get handled and watch for some routine maintenance issues that might get handled. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. It's about 9 minutes long. almost 10 minutes long, all inspired by this little flashlight. Hopefully it was of value to you. If you have any questions or any other ideas of what you should have with you as a landlord, let's talk about it in the comments. And apparently algorithm, blah, 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 like and subscribe. I appreciate it. And as always, thanks again for watching another episode of Chat with Chatto.